The Fitchburg's Board of Health is considering changes to the city's tobacco regulations, changes that are drawing strong opposition from convenience store owners and the retail industry. At the center of the debate is a proposal that would limit the nicotine content of oral nicotine pouches sold in Fitchburg.
The Board of Health is proposing a cap that would limit nicotine pouches to no more than 6 milligrams of nicotine per pouch. If adopted, the rule would stop local retailers from selling higher-strength products that some adult consumers say they use as an alternative to traditional cigarettes. During its February 5th meeting, board members voted unanimously to move forward with a draft of updated tobacco regulations and set a public hearing date. Health officials say that most of the city's current tobacco rules would stay the same, with new language focused on nicotine pouch strength, product authorization requirements, and a proposal aimed at reducing retailer density by limiting new shops within 1,000 feet of existing locations.
Well, I don't really buy the public health argument, especially where it concerns nicotine pouches, because I've yet to see the science that making these less harmful products less available is good for public health.
Retail advocates argue nicotine pouches are often marked towards adult smokers trying to transition away from combustible tobacco products. They say most items already fall under the 6 milligram threshold, but higher dose options remain important for some users. Industry representatives also pushed back against proposed language tied to federal regulation, saying local boards should not enforce what they describe as federal FDA approval standards.
Nicotine pouches offer really the safest, least harmful, version of a nicotine product.
Brennan warns stricter local limits could shift businesses outside the city. During interviews, retail advocates said that customers could travel to nearby communities, including across the New Hampshire border, or purchase products online if certain nicotine levels are no longer available locally.
But members of the Fitchburg Board of Health say the proposal is rooted in long-standing public health concerns. At the meeting, officials discussed the city's historically high smoking rates and said that local regulations are meant to reduce addiction risks, particularly for young people.
It's known that when the brain of a young person becomes addicted, that makes structural changes that actually stay with the person and make it more difficult to quit later on in life.
Public health officials also pointed to a rise in nicotine pouch use among both youth and adults, along with an increase in nicotine-related poison control calls, as a reason for reviewing product strength limits. The draft regulations would also continue existing policies like restricting tobacco sales near schools, banning self-service displays, and limiting the total number of tobacco retail permits in the city.
I don't think there's any question that tobacco use causes cancer, tobacco use causes heart disease, tobacco use causes respiratory illness. And so for the public health of our city, we think we need to kind of keep things in check a little bit.
Retailers argue youth access can be addressed through enforcement, including keeping products behind the counter and scanning IDs, while health officials say reducing product strength and availability is another way to limit long-term harm.
But if you want to keep them out of the hands of minors, then you keep them legal and you scan IDs. It's really that easy.
Board of Health members say the proposal does not ban nicotine products outright, but instead updates local rules to reflect changing trends in tobacco use and new nicotine products entering the market.
I don't think this is overreach. I think the state of Massachusetts asks boards of health to help keep our communities in a healthy state. I think that adults can still purchase tobacco if they care to, and I think that it's actually our job to make sure that the tobacco industry, which has historically overreached and placed advertisements in vulnerable neighborhoods and placed advertisements specifically targeting youth, and I think that we're creating an imbalance. I think there's a huge imbalance in this situation, and I think that's what the Department of Public Health and the Board of Health is trying to correct.
The Board of Health has scheduled a public hearing for March 12th, where residents, retailers, and public health advocates will have a chance to weigh in before any final vote is made. With North Central News, I'm Zoe Chrysostom.